All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some exciting news here. Just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. One of the most well-known, one of the rarest missing mint mark Roosevelt dimes. Another one is coming to the marketplace as of right now. On Great Collections, a 1975 Roosevelt dime, proof missing the S mint mark is officially live at auction today. This was actually also covered by the Associated Press. Yahoo had put up an article this morning. It's Sunday, September 8th or whatever, and they had just posted up an Associated Press article about this particular coin right here. This is going to be a story of the ages, folks. This is going to be a true testament to those naysayers out there. You know who the hell you are that have said that this coin is not findable. Regular Joe Schmo people do not come across this coin. And I'm telling you guys, this is living proof right here that you just never know what you're going to find. So the example that you see here is graded by PCGS as a Proof 67. It's also CAC green bean as well. So the grade is the grade on there. It's agreed upon by a couple of different parties. It does exhibit a little bit of toning. We'll take a close look at that as well on the coin. You will also receive, if you are the winner, I don't know if I have like some of those high-end, trophy buyers that listen to my show. This one right here, probably one that if you had the means and the money, if you had the kind of money that it would take to buy a house in cash, you might want to look at this one because these are just going to continue to enhance the value over time because there's just so few of them out there. But it is expected the early estimates on this coin to be right around $500,000 plus. I have to add that plus in there because it's highly likely that it will end up selling for in excess of that amount. Um, yeah, that is quite fascinating, to say the least. So the coin that you see here is what they call the Ruth E. Discovery coin. This was actually one of a couple coins that were found in a 1975 proof set. So the 75 proof sets, in case you guys didn't know and need some knowledge, over 2.5 million were made, so they're quite plentiful. As far as proof sets go, there's a lot of them out there. To buy a proof set today of this particular date will cost right around $7 to $9. Maybe $10 in the most errant of auction houses or a coin shop that maybe has them for a little bit higher. But normally they run around $7 to $9. This was also the date of proof set where they did not produce a 1975 quarter, half dollar, and dollar coin. This was actually a 2-year endeavor for the bicentennial program. So in this proof set, you're also going to see the bicentennial coinage that are dated 1976, and we'll have that dual date on there. Um, so it's a set that I've come across and had probably searched through hundreds of over the years, mostly in part because the bicentennial coinage is kind of the coins that I personally look out for out of those. They're quite popular even today. So the coin that you see here was discovered all the way back in 1977. It was actually found in a proof set. This individual had found two of these out of their order. They had ordered these in quantity. I don't know if they just ordered the 5 or 6 proof sets that normally come boxed up, but they ended up ordering a number of these. Found that 2 of the Roosevelt dimes had no S mint marks on them. Huh, kind of interesting, very strange. I mean, we're all used to the mint, making mistakes. All right, it's still a very human driven kind of production. And it's going to continue on as long as there's human intervention in the production of our monetary system. Believe you me, there's going to be some doozies out there for years to come. So the Great Collections auction listing has all the information you need to know for the most part. I think there's maybe one or two details that are not in there. A kind of a glance right here, you see that out of the more notable proof missing mint mark coinage, that there are kind of estimates as to how many exist. And the 75, of course, is the one at the top, followed by the 68 proof dime, which, no sleeper whatsoever, is a coin that routinely sells for $30,000 to $50,000, depending on how it grades out. So that's another big one there. But all in all of the coins on the list are quite valuable, quite expensive. And if you did come across, let's say through an inheritance, a huge amount of these proof sets, always give it the second go around and make sure you keep this list in mind. You have the 68, the 1970, the 71, which is a nickel that's missing the S mint mark. You have the 75 dime, 83 dime, and then the 1990 proof Lincoln set without the mint mark as well. That's another good one that sells for a few $1,000s. So this one here, 2 coins discovered in California. We're just going to kind of narrate, the Great Collections posting here. A collector in California had ordered 5. So that, okay, we know that there's 75 proof sets from the U.S. Mint and discovered that 2 of the coins had no S mint marks. She submitted one of the coins, this present coin that's being offered on this Great Collections listing, to Coin World in 1977, and then had the 2 coins authenticated by Annex. All right, so at one time they're in an old Annex, probably soapbox holder. If we're figuring around this time period right here, it's going to be one of the earlier ANA holders. No photos or documentation regarding the Annex grading of those, because it was a new discovery at the time. And Annex was the authoritative source for grading. They were the choice. So the Ruthie specimen has a little bit of a timeline. So in 77, it was discovered originally by a California collector who had purchased the 5 1975 proof sets from the U.S. Mint. The first coin was submitted by the California collector to Annex. All right, and then 78, in January, Coin World published the first article about the discovery of the 75 no-S proof dimes, prompting collectors and dealers to check their own proof sets. And for those of you that believe that this particular variety was discovered far later along, will be sadly mistaken. This one was known about very early on. So the likelihood that there are a number of unchecked sets out there, quite small, because I'm sure at that time everybody and their mother, and it's funny I say mother because this is gonna play in heavily into the story. A lot of people had checked through their sets. All right, so there's not a whole lot of original unopened packages of 1975 proof sets to go through, but not to say that there isn't at least one more in existence out there. The California collectors sold this first coin to a Bloomington, Illinois coin dealer, Fred Vollmer, very well known in the hobby back in the day. Even today, that name is synonymous with one of the early dealers who specialized in high-end stuff like this, who had specialized in modern no-S proof errors. Okay, Vollmer decided to offer the coin to all collectors who purchased other no-S proofs from his company in a mass mailing by his company. A year prior, Ruthie had purchased a 1968 no-S dime, so the family was on the list to receive the special mailing. In the 1970s, coin dealers would mail out their new coins for sale via first-class USPS mail. I received a few of those back in the 90s. It was still a thing. And the consigner of this 1975 no-S dime had a competitive advantage. He lived only a couple of hours away from Vollmer's Chicago shop, so the mail would only take a day to get to him in Ohio, whereas collectors in New York or California would not receive the Volmer mailing for an extra 2 or 3 days. That's so funny. Still like that today, I suppose, but with the internet and how everything just goes trending socially, it's a lot easier to pounce on things like this. It was this one reason Ruthie was the first person to inquire and ultimately purchase the 1975 Noah's Dime, which is the one being offered for sale. Volmer had mentioned he received another call 20 minutes after Ruthie had committed to purchase the coin from another client wanting to purchase the coin. Yeah, that's tough. So sad. It's so sad for that person. Ruthie completes the transaction with Volmer and keeps their ownership secret for decades. Okay, so that one was kind of like, under wraps. In 2011, Ruthie and her family visits Coin World and meets with editor Bill Gibbs to show him the coin, and it is written about in a detailed article in the magazine. Somehow I think I remember that particular article because I was subscribed to Coin World at that time. That was right at the beginning when I started the YouTube channel. 2024, the Great Collections auction, which is right now, bidding ends Sunday, October 27, 2024. So that is roughly a month and a half-ish time from now. It is the first time the coin has been seen since 1978, aside from the private viewing at Coin World mentioned above. So the second 1975 Noah's proof dime, the only other example was sold by the same California collector to Volmer. So again, it's the two coins that were discovered in that original five set box, and had not been seen on the market until appearing in a 2011 auction. It realized a then record $349,600 and was acquired by a Florida dermadude named Polis, who collected major rarities. Polis unexpectedly passed away in 2019, and his collection was auctioned, where the coin realized $456,000. Within days, the coin sells for $516,000 to a Roosevelt dime collector who currently has the only complete collection of this series. Wow. It ranks as the number one coin in the Garrett's and Schechter's 100 Greatest U.S. Modern Coins book, which was forwarded by, I believe, Q. David Bowers. So this has quite the pedigree. So who owns it now, or who originally bought it, was Ruthie and her son. All right, back in 1978. Don't know if she's still around, but it was mentioned that three sisters in the state of Ohio had inherited this from their brother and mother. And then now they have this coin on sale here. It is already bid up, ladies and gentlemen, with nearly 50 days remaining, for $250,000. My goodness. We knew the price tag was going to be insane on this, and it's like halfway to where it's reported to kind of end up at. What was not mentioned in the Great Collections write-up was originally how much this was purchased from Volmer, which was $18,200. All right, and apparently the family owned a dairy farm or something to that effect. I may get some of the details mixed up, and they had purchased that coin as kind of a financial safety net of sorts. So that's a little bit of the information that never made it onto the Great Collections thing, but was on the Associated Press article that was highlighted on Yahoo News. So yeah, there you go. So here's a few of the photos that accompanies this listing. All right, so if you're looking for a big trophy coin that is going to live in the lore as being one of the greatest 100 greatest modern coins ever made, then this is the one for you. All right, so we're going to start out with the actual Great Collections, what they call Great Photo. It's kind of like a true view of sorts. A little bit of information you guys may not be aware of, but the person that used to do true views for PCGS now works for Great Collections, and they've been putting out some absolutely high quality images that you will see on coins. And this has been the case for the better part of the year going into last year. So there's your coin right there. I want to express and make it known because I've had a lot of people message me along with some of my counterparts that do coin videos such as this, that this is in a proof set. It is a specialized proof strike coin. Keep in mind, the coins that come out of circulation, which is affectionately referred to as business strikes, are not proof coinage. However, the coins that are produced at the Philadelphia Mint will have no mint mark on the coins. I want to make that absolutely clear, the difference between the two. So you could come away with a very well worn 1975 Roosevelt dime in circulation. I will bet you dollar to donuts that it is a business strike coin and not the rarity proof struck example that's being offered here in this great collections auction. So if you think you have it and you found it in change, more than likely you have the much more plentiful common dated 1975p Roosevelt dime. And I've actually had to fight tooth and nail with a few people who firmly do not believe any of the stuff I'm saying. All right, so I am talking with a quick tongue and with a lot of truth here, ladies and gentlemen, that you need to absolutely know what you have before you go and make erroneous type of claims that you have something that's worth $500,000 or more. Okay, beautiful coin. It's got, years worth of very light archival, light toning on there. Very attractive coin, okay? Pretty cool to see in person here today. Something like this that's out there. Here is, I believe this is the Coin World article, all right, showing the S-less Proof 75 dime. I'm sure, there might be a few of you that will want to go in and actually read this. This is the original report from way back 45 plus years ago. Yeah, there was some crazy stuff you could find on the old magazine and newspaper clippings of the day. Like for instance, the 55 poor man's double die that a dealer used to offer some insane amount of money to buy back in 1955. Yeah, that one will be quite memorable. Also included into this is also the original proof set that this came into. So it'll have the other 5 coins in the holder. Someone will probably ask, well, how did they get the dime out of there? Because we know these particular holders to be very tough to pry open. A lot of them more really shatter into pieces. But if you could pry open like a corner, it'll snap away from the seal of that particular coin, whether it's a quarter, the dime, or what have you. Another word of note, the 1975 proof sets and mint sets have the Type 1 reverse like dollar, okay, which is a much more scarcer variety that has the block letters in there. So let's say, for example, you don't find the 75S. It's going to be tough to find that, I understand. Keep in mind that there is a secondary coin in here, that's worth a little bit more. It's actually in the proof set, and not a lot of people are aware of this. That one singular coin, if it grades out very high, like a proof 70, is worth many thousands of dollars with the Type 1 reverse. So keep that in mind. If you have a very clean example of that Ike dollar with that Type 1 reverse with the block letters, that is actually a huge variety. And roughly about 30-35% of the entire run of bicentennial Ike dollars have that reverse type on there. It was actually intended for the 40% silver uncirculated strikes, which will all have the block letters on the reverse. That's the standard die used for that coin. So here are also some other photos of the graded slab. You can see the CAC sticker. It says no S right on the label. I mean, this is the thing that dreams are made of, all right? And again, it's not something that's going to be easily found out there. If you think you're going to go and hunt this down, you need to keep in mind, what's it going to take to find something like this? It's going to be able to headhunt those collections that have never been gone through in decades, and even not gone through during the 70s. So you're going to have to find this old collection that nobody is aware that things like this exist, and let alone some of these other coins too, like the 68 proof dime that's missing the S mint mark is such a ridiculously expensive coin in its own right that there are people that are not aware that that coin exists. And up to this point, there's been 2 or 3 dozen of these coins that have been found. I'm a firm believer that at least one more of each of these big varieties exists out there in our world today. And it's going to be really up to that person that has the tenacity, that has the resources, to be able to look at old collections and try and find some of these. But these are some of the most desirable mint errors today. And we just can't underscore the importance of this one singular coin that could really change lives in a huge way. That this one does exist out there. And, there's been 2 found. I firmly believe there's going to be a 3rd and a 4th. I think they're out there. And, for someone out there that probably has a sealed box of 1975 proof sets, this could be an opportunity. It would be well worth it to crack that puppy open at the prospect of looking for this coin. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Pretty big news on this Sunday regarding this 1975 No S Roosevelt dime coming up for sale with a really awesome story. Congratulations to the Ohio family, those ladies that had picked this one up through their family. It's going to be a really, really important sale, and then we're all going to be a part of it here. I actually am going to bookmark this, watch this item. I'm going to do it right now, just so I could, keep an eye out on this one. $250,000 to 49 days left. Man, that's pretty big. So we'll see. Could this be a record breaker? It would have to eclipse $516,000, and we'll see. All right. Well, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I will be on later today on the platform Whatnot. I had picked up a collection overnight, and it's a rather small collection of really awesome, very rare pieces that I'm going to be offering this afternoon in a very short show. That'll probably go on for maybe 45 minutes at the most. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. I have a bookmark if you're just now joining the platform and you want to join the platform. I'll have my referral link down below. You can get $15 off your first item purchased. But I'll be on at 2 p.m. Pacific with a show. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in on this one. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.